Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining me in the world. I'm honestly very happy for you guys to be here. I know it's been some time since I have given the last update, and I appreciate everyone's patience. And hopefully, this will also bring everyone some value. So, jumping right into it, I'm looking at NASDAQ, and this will go for the same with other equities like the S&P 500. The Dow is slightly different, but as far as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, these are the dates and the prices I'm actually looking at. So I normally start with the 2048, but to diagnose that, I'm going to start on the 512 here. So if you look at the left side of my screen, back in at the end of January, I had this fib retracement drawn. We have now bounced and took out all the targets down to level 7, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. That was actually a really nice trade if if you're a swing trader. All the way down, that would have been, oh wow, about 11%. $2,600. But I do like to clean up my charts when I have a chance. So the last month or so, we have actually been in this expanding triangle that I've outlined in the blue. While being in that expanding triangle, we have continued to bounce and retest this gap over and over and over again. It wasn't until the very, what, about week and a half ago on the 18th of March, finally hit it and then got rejected. Came all the way down. You see it closed even below the 618 and the zero point 0.5 line this entire time. Now, we are still in the area where 9 could be going to 10. But if you look at the 128 here, this is the time frame below the 512. So this will help with the market structure of the above time frame. We put a lower low 10 in and then shot up to a higher high. This was all based off of the tweet or the announcement that the Iran war may, come to some type of, peace agreement. But it did it did go 10 to 1 exactly where in the area where one would form. I'm fine with that. But if we go ahead and do that, we would mark this as a 10, this as 1, and then you'll see that we are actually looking at a lot of potential real estate all the way up until the 20th of April that turning point 2 could come into. If you consider that, then I would say while we did hit the turning point 4 target here on the 2048, I'm actually considering maybe this was a turning point 5, which would play out saying that, hey, we really could be dropping over the next month, even lower back to $22,000. That is, oh wow, we haven't seen lows like that since June of last year. So it really could be a reset into that time. Almost a great buying opportunity. If that's the case, I would be considering far out dates, like, just to coordinate with the above time frame. I think there would still be a pop-up somewhere. So even if this is turning point 1 on the 1 to 2 on the 512, I could see some type of push down, up, and then a move back down just to match this 27-day target over here. I will highlight that and make them the same color so it's kind of easy to see. We are essentially looking at something like this. So one thing I do like to do is color code my targets, have them both on the screen so I can actually map out in my mind in my trade plan how some of these turns actually play out. You realize it's most likely not going to just continue straight down like that. That's just not how the markets move. but you could have consolidation, a drop, a rally, trying to take out some high, and then a move down here like that. And that would work on this other time frame for the above time frame. So I would still take this, as I say, one time frame at a time, one day at a time. Speaking of one day at a time, we opened the week on a bounce up because 10 has to come in which it did. Big sell off on Friday, pop up on Sunday, came in, put a lower high one in, but two also had to come in on the 128. You can see over here let's see, let me just highlight that. You can see how we have the oscillator turning over here. That is another tip that, you know, we are probably moving down on that time frame. I don't use a lot of indicators, especially lagging ones, but it's just another point of confirmation that, is helpful. Because one is in, I'm looking for turning point 2 on the 32. I don't think it's in just yet, but it could come in overnight, around 8 o'clock. So market closes, could open up with a gap down or just a slow move and then shoot down before it moves up into Tuesday's trading day. One thing that I do want to kind of highlight here is what I wrote over here in the red. This is when the NFP comes out on Friday. If you actually look at this, 15 plus 29 bars is 34. Nope, sorry, misspoke, 44. So if I just add that together, because that actually kind of lines up with where we are Friday morning, right before the NFP. So if you don't remember, the 128 is basically the weekly trend. There'll be at least 2 turns, 1 to 2 turns in each quadrant. So if 3 is in here, that means we could actually get a move down, like 4, 3 to 4 here, and then end the week rallying up after the NFP goes, right? Or it just kind of chops sideways and then drops into the NFP. This is actually what I'm going to be looking for this week. Get rid of these targets here. And just to help visualize, that is what, the 3rd? Yeah, so we would be right over here on Friday morning. Yeah, so this is still the area where turning point 8 would most likely have come in, and you have either a move from 8 to 9 and drop, or a move from 9 already being in, like 9 comes in, and then 10 hits that news break, and then pops up. As we get closer, I'll continue to try to make another update, maybe Thursday. If that's helpful, please leave a comment on if you would like a midweek update, or if a tweet, in a chart is better. I'm still trying to get a hang of this. If you guys actually do prefer a video where I talk out my thoughts, or you just prefer just a chart. Looking at the lower time frames, this short did play out. It got really messy here in the middle of the day, but I blame Chairman Powell. But still, market structure was intact. Moving down, I had a cluster of targets of different time frames, and they're all color coded. But I do think they are most likely all in. Thinking that, we still would move up a little bit, but we could move down, about, no, Yeah, we could still continue to drop into that 8 o'clock target as I mentioned here. 8 o'clock, 8:30 would be a very late turning point four, but it's still within the confines of the second quadrant where turning point four would form in this area here. It's tiny because this is most likely where four kind of forms. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm not trading it because I don't trade Asia opens, but for anyone who's interested, yeah, we already made the lower low, which is great. So we kind of have a feeling that the high of the week may be in, but that really just is based off of, are we going to 1 to 2, or are we still going 9 to 10 on the 512? Either way, I think, yeah, either way, you can see if it is going to 10, the target is in 4 days on Friday around the NFP open. These are 8-hour candles over here on the left side of the screen. This target, 17 plus 33, we're looking at about 50 candles from 9 to 10. And yeah, that would be a very late 10. So it could actually lead to a really high pop up. So again, I do think as we move on, we'll be inching lower, but the NFP really could send the market up on a turn, especially because 4 to 5 has to form before the end of this week. So again, thank you all for joining me today. If you did make it this long, I do want to say this charting software is currently on discount right now. If you use my code, the makers over at Tesseract Pro have been very kind to actually supply anyone who uses the code with a 50% off discount. It is, the code is 724 trading, all one word. And yeah, I really do appreciate it if you guys did use that code. But most importantly, I really hope you guys all found and were able to get some value from this. Again, sorry that I went silent for a while, was having some internet problems, but yeah, I'm back and I'm gonna continue to put out some consistent stuff for everyone. So again, thank you so much. I'm gonna get a gold, we go get a gold market update ready for you. And any other market updates you want, let me know. I know I can still do crypto. If you're interested in oil trading, also let me know. I know oil has been crazy volatile lately. I wonder why. But yeah, again, thanks everyone, man. And yeah, until next time.